Hi, welcome back to Elite Literary Book Group. I'm Rachel Beck, and today, my cat's going nuts right now. He might be distracting me. But I want to go over the Q3 question that was on the AP test. And I mainly want to do this just to point out that, you would have crushed it if you took my course. That's basically my whole reason for doing this. But the question had to do with idealism. And they give you, they don't always do this, but this time they gave a quote, that it is wrong to have an ideal view of the world. That is where the mischief starts. And that is where everything starts unraveling. This really could have worked with just about any piece. But I think it would have worked best with The Great Gatsby. And I'll tell you why. The Great Gatsby, since it's mainly about the American dream, is all about idealism. And in my lectures, what I first start to talk about is how did this idealism start? And why is it the American dream? What makes it uniquely American? And my argument, which would have been my claim, my introduction to this question, if I was writing it, would be that it originated with the idea of God's providence, and the Puritans, as they saw themselves as the new Israelites. They kind of recreated themselves, okay? And with that idealism came God's providence. They were going to be the city on the hill. The whole world was going to look up to them. And if you ever want to question this, I write this in my blog, but I've seen a post, and I don't want to get into politics, but just as an example, an Old Testament verse like, God told Nehemiah to build a wall. So, obviously. and then the rest of the quote said to Pelosi, stop with the what would Jesus do, because, or maybe you should read your Bible. What in the world makes an American think that they can take an Old Testament verse, that really, to understand the Old Testament, you kind of need to be a Jewish scholar. But anyway, that's a whole different argument. But to take that verse and say it applies to us, to America, it's an incredible idea. And people don't question it because they're so used to it. They don't think about anything. Reagan said, he used the city on the hill too. He said a shiny city. So anyways, so there's the beginning of your discussion is the idealism to begin with. Where does this come from? And then, and I'm looking at my notes here because I just wrote about this, but Harold Bloom, something if you're ever talking about American literature and you want to talk about what he calls the American religion, which is basically what I'm referring to, he says the American Christ is more American than he is Christ. And what he means by that is that we have a way of projecting onto God what we want. So then the question becomes, are we created in God's image, or is he created in our own image? So there's that, which I go into. But also, the idealism can be equally talked about in the idea of new money and old money. Think about Tom's ideals. He is threatened by change. His civilization is going to pieces. When he says that civilization is going to pieces, what does he mean? He makes a racist remark when he says it. Okay, so what he means is his aristocratic civilization. See, the American dream threatens his world. Okay, so that's something that I discuss. And also look at, by contrast, where Wilson is. He's in between New York and West Egg. He's in the Valley of Ashes. He has his own business. He has the idea of the American dream too. But if you look closely at the text, there's a Ford sitting in his... It's my dog. Gosh, they're so distracting today. You okay? So he has a fort sitting in his garage, but it's a dust-covered wreck of a fort. And Wilson and Myrtle both come from poverty, and their dream is not materialized. Okay, so you have that. Let's see, what else did I write here? Gatsby's world. The way that to kind of tie this all together. If you're interested, then you can read the blog later. But the way that you would have to tie this all together, because you want to get to the meaning as a whole, is to then talk about how Gatsby's father responds when he comes after not seeing Gatsby. You know, his son has abandoned his father. He's changed his name. He's reinvented himself. As Fitzgerald says, he was a son of God. And he created like his own platonic version of himself, which meant that he had to deny his father. But when his father comes in and he sees this material success and he's so amazed by it, it doesn't matter that his son just died. He died in what Sarah Vowell refers to, and when she talks about this, and she talks about the Puritans a lot, in a very fancy pool. That is what's showing you the meaning as a whole. And when I end on my blog here, just like Tom's physical accomplishments, the ideal becomes a wasted illusion, a superficial existence, a wasteland. So what you could have also done with this book is take a feminist approach and talk about the ideal woman, as Daisy is kind of that ideal and captures Gatsby's imagination. And I talk about that in the book as well. So if you're interested, if you're taking AP next year, you know someone who's taking AP next year, please subscribe. And I'm going to start writing more blogs, and I will do it about education and about, literature and about life and how it all relates. And you can find the course so far on The Great Gatsby and Catcher in the Rye and Their Eyes Are Watching God on udemy.com. Okay, so thank you.